Welcome back to Open Forum here on Liberty Radio 97.1. And I have with me this afternoon Miss Bonnie Floyd from Floyd Ministries. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Not too bad, thank you. And it's good to have you back. And I know you've been doing some good things in Barbuda. You want to bring us up to speed?
I'd love to.
Yes.
I'd love to. So I'm back this time for a few different reasons, kind of a threefold trip this time. And first and foremost, I'm going to be presenting my Barbuda project, hopefully before cabinet, and we're really excited about that. We've got it laid out not only in written proposal form, but we've got some three-dimensional photos. I've got a visual presentation this time, so I'm excited about that. I'm very excited because tomorrow I have a team of women flying in from Texas. My friend of more than 25 years, Victoria, is with me today. She flew in on Saturday, and we're going to have a mission week here. And on Wednesday, we're going to go into the prison, and we're going to have a mini conference for the women in prison. We're going to be ministering to them and catering lunch and just having a time where we can pray with them and pour into them and speak hope, talk to them about the forgiveness that's available to them for the reasons that they're in there, and talk about their hope for the future once they get out. And then on Thursday, we are consuming the entire flight over to Barbuda, and we're going to do a ministry or a mission conference or a mini conference there for the women who've returned home.
So how many people do you have coming in?
I have 7 coming in. No, I have 6 coming in, and Victoria and I make a team of 8 women.
Right. And this mission that you have that's coming to Antigua and Barbuda is specifically for the purpose of the prison?
No, actually it is to, here's what God has put on my heart. So you know my connection to Barbuda and my great love for Barbuda and my call and my mission there, right? But Antigua and Barbuda are a twin island nation. That's what we are. We're a twin island nation. And so my desire is to not just focus all on Barbuda and not try to do things here on Antigua as well. And so that's why we thought going to the prison would be a great thing to do. But then also on Friday and Saturday, this coming Friday and Saturday, we're having the first annual Antigua Barbuda Women's Conference at Casada Gardens Fellowship of Believers. And it's going to be Friday night from 7 to 9. And on Saturday from 9 to noon. And it's a free conference for anyone that wants to come. And we have international speakers. We've got worship music. We've got some really exciting things in store. So I want to make sure that when I come, I'm not just solely focused on one island, but that I do the very best that I can. Even though I'm small, but I'd like to think I'm mighty in being a unifying force between the two.
Now you're bringing individuals in. You have a vision for Barbuda, but the key thing that you said there that struck me was the whole idea of forgiveness. Somehow I think that the meaning of that word has been lost in translation within Antigua and Barbuda. I don't believe that we here understand. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. I believe we understand forgiveness, but when it comes to putting it into action, it's a whole different story. As far as I'm concerned, I've never seen Antigua and Barbuda as polarized and as contentious as it is today, whereby right is seen as wrong, and wrong is celebrated as right. Because you're not getting, I would say, you don't, depending on who you support or what you're doing, people are not looking at the right or wrong of situations. Now, you represent a whole different level of forgiveness that goes beyond the mind and concept of everything. Forgiving those that have, those individuals who murdered your parents, you forgave them, befriended them, and helped them. Now, that's an example that I'm not sure that we in this little twin island state, or I dare say the OECS are probably the Caribbean, will really get to unless something really tragic happens that causes us to unite, sort of like a 9/11 moment. You understand? So you coming here and being involved sends a signal to us that, look, we need more introspection in uniting as a nation. How do you see it from your point of view here?
Well, I believe that forgiveness, I believe that my story of forgiveness can do exactly what you just said, and it can show this country what reconciliation looks like and what it means. You can look at Donaldson and I and the relationship that I have and the relationship and the love that I have for the people of Barbuda, considering the tragedy that drew me there. And yes, I understand that maybe the act of forgiveness that God empowered me to have is on a grand scale. But do you know that I have found in my life that it is the smaller things in life, choosing not to be offended in the smaller things sometimes is the most difficult. And one thing that's really hard is to forgive someone who's supposed to love you.
Oh boy, that's
to forgive someone who's supposed to be your neighbor or your fellow countryman. You know, someone who's not supposed to hurt you. That is the hardest. That is a true act of forgiveness. But the bottom line is that confusion and division is not of the Lord. It isn't of the Lord. And it says in Scripture that it is to our glory to overlook an offense. And I spend time on Antigua, and I speak to people, and I hear views, different views of Barbuda, and I spend time on Barbuda, and I hear different views and opinions of Antigua. And what's amazing to me is that, yes, I'm on the outside looking in, but I don't view myself as necessarily an outsider anymore. I see myself more as an insider, and I love both islands. You are both amazing people, and what Antigua did for Barbuda after Irma was one of the most beautiful acts of support and love that I have ever seen in my life. And yes, I know that there are always going to be those that take advantage of a situation. It doesn't matter. It's not Barbudans. It's Americans. It's wherever. There's always going to be people that take advantage of a situation. And unfortunately, we tend to focus on them. But what about the mom that I know that rented a home on Barbuda and all she wants to do is go home? But because she didn't own the house, she has to wait for the landlord to be able to restore it so that she can move home. But she wants to go home. I know so many that are ready to go home. I know the ones that went out and they got jobs and they're working here and they're helping in the economy and they're trying to pay for themselves. And so I tend to try to look at the good in people and not focus. I've run into the ungratefuls. I mean, I could tell you some stories about some people, recipients of the Miracle of Christmas, and I looked at them and I was like, are you kidding me right now? You're going to say that to me after all I did? But I don't focus on them. And I don't think anybody should focus on the negative. We have to look at the positive, and we need to help those that want to be helped. Barbuda is a great island. We have a prime minister that wants to do well for both islands. Both islands. And I believe that's the future. I believe it, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me different.
Got you right there. What's the difference that you're seeing now with regards to Barbuda? You said that Barbuda represent, they always seem to disconnect. I never could quite understand the disconnect, quite frankly. But are you seeing changes now as you're moving forward?
I do. Especially for the 500 plus that have returned home. I mean, it's just, if no one follows, you need to go on Instagram and follow Mohammed. His pictures are amazing. He's a photographer, and he is always posting progress pictures. This morning he posted a picture of this most beautiful picture of a rainbow literally arched over, I believe it was River Road or Madison Square in Barbuda. And so if you follow him, he will show you pictures and progress of what's going on there. I think of Ruth. She was one of the first ones that came home, and she lived in a tent. And every day she works hard at doing whatever she can, little by little, to restore the house. And so that's why we're so excited about at Bonnie Floyd Ministries to go over on Thursday and to be able to pour into the women that have chosen to go home under difficult circumstances. But we have internet now. Hopefully the electrical is going to be fed through, to the houses, but that there is some electrical there, and there is progress. Is it as fast as any of us want it? Probably not. But even if it was lightning fast, there's still going to be people complaining, right?
That's for sure. Tell us exactly what your mission is now with regards to Barbuda, where you're at, and give us a little bit of idea of the vision that you have for Barbuda, that you're meeting with Cabinet to bring to Barbuda.
Okay. Well, out of respect for the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, I don't want to say too much until I have the opportunity to present it to them.
Sure.
But our hope at Bonnie Floyd Ministries is to start a vocational training classes there to teach the people of Barbuda vocational skills in construction, such as electrical, carpentry, and in the process of construction, we want to train them. And then once our building is built, then what we want to do is we want to have entrepreneurship programs. So we want to help the people of Barbuda be able to have their own businesses, and prosperity's coming to Barbuda. Irma just set us back a little bit, but prosperity's coming. And what we want to do is we want to help the people of Barbuda become part of the prosperity and not victims of the prosperity. And so our desire, like I said, through vocational skill training, through entrepreneurship programs. I want to bring people in from all over the world, England, especially, of course, my country, to come in, mission teams, and teach them different trades, photography, jewelry making, sewing, you name it. There's no limit. The salt over there is amazing. We need to show them how they can make some great salt products that people that come, visitors to Barbuda, will eat that stuff up. And so we want to help in that way. Short term, we are about to launch a campaign that's called Gardens and Gates.
Right.
And it's going to help the people who have returned home secure their property with fencing, and so they can start growing their vegetables and stuff. Because as you know, there's a huge wild donkey and horse population, and now with Irma wiping out all the fences, they can't grow anything because they grow it, and the minute it sprouts its little head out of the ground,
they eat it. Yeah,
so that's our short-term plan, and then our long-term plan is the Barbuda project, which we're really excited about.
I got you. Going back to Barbuda and working in Antigua, you're seeing that Barbuda has basically, they've gone through a tremendous experience. Are you seeing any psychological spin-offs from that? Because I know there was once a conversation.
Yes.
That
you and I had one.
Yes, I remember. Yes. You seeing anything like that having taken root and maybe is now being dealt with appropriately?
I do feel that that time truly has been a healer. I personally know firsthand some children that were like so scared and would say, "I'm never going back," and now they don't say that anymore. And so I think through different programs, I know that there have been those that have gone through some counseling, which I'm very excited about. But what I thought might be a real issue, I'm seeing that level out, and people are more willing to come back. I know we start talking, isn't it about right now we start talking about hurricane season around the corner, and I know people
June,
get a little, but I'm praying and believing that lightning is not going to strike twice in the same place. I'm just telling you, that's my prayer.
Well, I think the reports coming out is that it's supposed to be, I think from last year, Miss Lane, Ambassador Lane, who's into the whole green energy stuff and so on, is saying that, and globally, it's not Antigua alone, it's globally, that the shift in the weather systems are so tremendous, it's unpredictable.
Yes.
So there's a strengthening within globally,
right,
that you never know what's going to come where,
right,
when, or how. They can predict all they want, but God is a God all by himself.
I was just going to say, but we serve an awesome and mighty God.
Right.
And we serve a certain God. We don't serve an uncertain God. We serve a certain God. And even though devastation struck, I mean, it was miraculous. How many survived? We only lost one little boy, Carl Jr., and I'm not making light of that, but when you look at what happened, it was a miracle. But
it was.
I think the greatest miracle is how God spared Antigua.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Are we 27 miles?
Actually, it was supposed to hit Antigua
I know
and Barbuda.
it was. I was here.
Yeah, it was supposed to hit Antigua and Barbuda.
I know.
And said, I don't think we've shown enough gratefulness for that, and we're going to pay a price.
I agree.
And we're going to pay a price
No.
for that.
No. Repent now. Repent now. No, I think it's a miracle.
Why did you? It definitely was a miracle. Why did you choose to bring a women's group?
Well, I'll tell you how it came about was that I spoke, because I'm a conference speaker. I do church services and women's conferences and luncheons and different things. And so I was speaking at a conference, and I was, telling one of my stories about my connection to Barbuda, my story of forgiveness, and I shared about our ministry on Barbuda, and there was the director of women's ministry. She was there, and God had put it on her heart to start a nonprofit organization of women ministering on a mission level, and so she talked to me and she said, I believe that God is calling me to start this, and she said, and when we do, we want to come. And I said, when you do, you let me know. And so Lindy Griggs and Tiffany Savage, they co-founded Bell and Sparrows. And that's the team that's coming over. It's actually a nonprofit organization called Bell and Sparrows out of Frisco, Texas, near Dallas. And they do local missions. They'll go to Waco and different places in Texas for those who can't travel internationally, but they also go to Haiti and various different places. What I love about them is they don't say, oh, well, we'll go here and then we'll go here and then they strategically pray and plan where they want to go, and they always return. So they're coming here, and next year they'll be back. And they love that promise of, the Lord willing, we'll be back. And that's what they do. And it's an amazing organization. So they actually approached me, and I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So Bell and Sparrows, give us a little bit of what, you say a mission trip. What exactly are they doing? Specifics.
Specifically, like I said, they formed this organization, and they go on mission trips of women only, and it's women ministering to women.
Okay, got you.
It's women ministering to women.
You.
So when Donnie and I were, creating our mission trips, we were talking about construction, and we were talking various different things like that. And so when I talked to Lindy and Tiffany about that, they said, no, we want to work with women and children. That's what God's called us to do. And so that's how it actually led us to the prison and the women prisoners. We have 17 in there.
Oh, it's grown.
And unfortunately. So that's why we thought, we'll go, and then we'll do this women's conference on Saturday and Sunday at Fellowship of Believers in Casada Gardens, and we made it free so the women could come. And then, of course, I'm not going to leave out my Barbuda, so we're traveling over there. And so the conference that we're doing on a grand scale here next weekend is we're going to do a mini conference for the ladies over there. And I'm excited. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to go on a prayer walk, and we're going to let them take us to their homes, and we're going to be praying over them and praying over their homes and doing real one-on-one with them. So we're excited about that.
Give us some, next week is the conference you're saying, right?
Next weekend, yes.
The dates?
20 and 21.
20th and 21st of
April
will be the conference.
Yeah, and it's a free conference. We will be taking a love offering for that, but it's an absolute free conference, and the theme is the door to something better.
I got you. And this is the year of the door, by the way, 5778. So you're right on point. What else would you like to bring to the public right now in just winding down to let people know that you're here and you're open for business, so to speak?
Yes.
At least open for ministry. And give us an idea. What more would you like to add?
I just want to always reiterate that I am here because I believe the Lord has given me an amazing connection to this island, and though it may have started in tragedy, it is ending in triumph. And I wouldn't have changed a thing. My God has so completely healed my heart in the loss of my parents and has filled it with such a love for Antigua and Barbuda. And everything that I do is out of a pure heart and love. And I don't want to change the culture. I don't want to come in and try to change anyone. I just want God to use me and my ministry to better, to just better, educate, teach about the strong principles of the Word of God, because any good in me is only by the good that Jesus brings. And so first and foremost, I just want to share what the Lord has done for me. And then I want, through my husband is a brilliant contractor, and so he's an excellent teacher, and so we can teach these vocational skills, and then I've got so many people just waiting for these entrepreneurship programs, and because of the miracle of Christmas, we have a surplus that came from the generous donations, and so we feel that with integrity, we need to allocate those funds. So because there was some left over from the miracle of Christmas, the heart in which it was given was hurricane relief. And so that's how we kind of came up with the Gardens and Gates campaign. And so we're going to use the funds left over from the miracle of Christmas. It's not enough. We need to now continue to raise some more money to do that. And we'll be launching that soon on my new website. But just that my heart is pure, my motive is pure, and I just want to be able to show through the love of Jesus Christ the power of forgiveness and how it can not only heal a nation, but I think that as we grow together, that we, Bonnie Floyd Ministries, me personally, and Antigua and Barbuda can show the world what true forgiveness looks like. And forgiveness is the order of the day. Good word. Anything else in closing, Bonnie? I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you so much for having me. You are such a friend and support to our, to our cause and our ministry, and I just want to thank you so much. My pleasure. Do it all the time. Anything to get there, get that word out there, and help people, because that is paramount. Thank you. Blessings. God bless you. Bye-bye. Bye.